That's the jam. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for being here. I want to start off by just getting a chance to share, why I'm sharing this information and why I started to dive into financial literacy and finding out, how to better assist myself, how to better assist my family, and also those people who, really mean a lot more to me, a lot that really mean a lot to me. And in addition, I started to talk to more and more people who just wanted to understand a lot more, and it caused me to say, you know what, there is a need in families, there is a need in the community for workshops, for education outside that normal education that you get in class. For many people, it's a survival mode, and that's just me just keeping, myself and my personality into this presentation. Door Business Group is a company that we started and wanted to be able to provide back to the community and back to families. What we provide is financial education, financial tools that help people looking to change their situation from financial struggle to financial independence. And what we realize is it's more of the more you know, the more you grow. You know better, you do better. And for many times in my family and my relationship with my mom, I saw her wake up every day and give it the best that she could, day in and day out, sun up, sun down. And what I realized is not only was myself and my brother very, very important to her, but just instilling in us the understanding of, being there for other people, being there for one another. And that's something that, carried on all the way into my adult life. And what I started to see is the more I wanted to help others, the better my life turned out to be. And there was a time when, I was all about myself, not really concerned about others. And I got to myself to a place where I wasn't able to continue a relationship with my family. So this is the time where I get a chance to live my life, have freedom, and also share time with family members that mean a lot to me. And I know many people would like to share more time with their kids. Many people would like to enjoy more vacations. But sometimes enjoying those things means calling you away from work, calling you away from making income. And that may call you away from living in the house you're living in, or the identity you've identified for yourself, or the lifestyle, right? Because you understand, many of us are really working a job or going out and building a business really for two reasons. Two basic reasons. Today, you want to be able to take care of your lifestyle today, but at the same time, you want to be able to take care of your lifestyle for tomorrow. You want to be able to take care of your lifestyle for tomorrow. And the thing is, for many people, taking care of their lifestyle today is paycheck to paycheck, let alone being able to put aside for their future years, their retirement years, right? So that's why today we're going to talk about a few challenges that individuals or families or millions of Americans are facing. And we're also going to talk about solutions and tools and strategies that can help you moving forward. So there's also going to be handouts that we're going to share with everybody. We're going to be able to have a time where we have a break and just have a little bit more fellowship with one another, asking more questions, getting to know one another's journey. For those that are here, for you who are watching, you get a chance to follow along with us. And if there's any questions, you can reach out to me and my team or the person that shared this information with you. Real quick, I want to tell you guys that two tips, two things that you might want to write down. The first thing is it's going to take faith. It's going to take faith in yourself. It's going to take faith in your calling and your purpose. In order for you to live that satisfying life, or that life of satisfaction, or that life of, a legacy, it's going to take having faith. to step out of the boat and walk on that water, and walk on that talent and skill that you have that you want to monetize to change your life. Not only that, but it's going to take discipline. It's going to take discipline in doing the right things day in and day out. It's going to take discipline to make sure you're where you need to be at the timely manner. When they say 9 o'clock, it's 9 o'clock, not 9:15. When we say 11 o'clock, it's 11 o'clock, not 11:15. With those things, when we become more disciplined, they play a bigger role in our integrity, in the person that we say we want to be. So those are 2 quick, powerful success tips that I wanted to leave with you guys. So I want to start off right now and share with you Door Business Group. Door Business Group was a company that was created to help more and more families in our communities have an outlet to financial and personal development education. Here is a publication that was put out that many times when IRS speaks to us, we didn't get a chance to hear it, or nobody shared it with us. So right now I'm bringing it to the attention, and maybe you guys can search further and see the updated one. But this is in 2005, a publication that the Internal Revenue Service, IRS, put out. Big refund, big tax bill. Real quick fun fact that I want to share with you guys: in that year, individuals totaled for more than $215 billion. $215 billion in overpayments, guys. Woo! It's a lot of money. Hard pill to swallow. But listen. Listen. That was 101 million taxpayers. About 80% of America. And what they wanted to say to us is basically this. You might ask the question, where does your refund come from? Well, it comes out of your wallet or purse when you tell your employer how much to withhold in your paycheck. IRS says you might be using this extra withholding as a forced savings method. But Uncle Sam doesn't pay interest on refunds. Guys, that means that there are what? Putting the money in any type of savings account or paying down debt might be a better option. Right from the horse's mouth, guys. Putting the money in any type of savings account or paying down debts might be a better option. And that's what we're sharing with you guys. How to go from using this as an extra withholding, as a forced savings, into paying down any debts and putting this money in a type of savings account or growth account, right? See, in this country, we like to call it the tale of 2 countries. Like in a coin, there's heads, there's tails. See, on one side of the coin, 80% of Americans are struggling financially. Or at least 80% of Americans feel behind as far as where they wanted to be in their finances at this time in life. 69% have less than $1,000 in savings. Let alone, maybe that percentage goes a little bit higher when you consider having 3 to 6 months of living expenses set aside as an emergency fund. But guys, when you think about only 4% of Americans attain financial success. Out of 100 people, a study was done, and out of the 100, from working from 16 to 65, 18 to 65, working their working years, only 4% of Americans attain financial success, where they don't need any assistance from family members, government assistance, but they're able to live comfortably and live the life that they expected to live in retirement. Right? So that's 80% of Americans. Now, that's one side of the coin, right? What I want to show you guys is the other half, or the other side of this coin. The other side of the coin is that this is also one of the wealthiest countries in the world. This is also one of the wealthiest countries in the world. I mean, not too many people are leaving here to go and start a wealth journey in another country. Most people are putting their lives on the line. Most people are leaving their families behind, their children behind, to get here, to establish themselves and get a chance to move forward financially, right? America accounts for about 25% of the world's wealth. 25% of the world's wealth. Guys, that's a big portion of the economy in this entire country, in this entire world. And that's why many people are coming here to be a part of the dream. There's over 540 billionaires and 10 million millionaires in America alone. In the United States alone. Guys, there's a world of wealth here on one side. But on the other side, like I said, 80% of Americans feel as if they're struggling. So like 20% of the people are living this. It's something you know that they don't know. Or something they know that you don't know. Real quick, we wanted to go ahead and start and get into the presentation of the W-4. Many people go through working a job or starting the first day at work, and this form is presented to them, and they're not able to understand, or they've never been given the instructions on how it applies to their everyday life or their monthly financial statement, right? So this individual might be the first person that has their current paycheck. They make $1,200 gross pay bi-weekly, every other week. And they're actually taking home $887.40, right? These are the subtractions that are coming out. Net pay $887.40. There's Social Security, there's Medicare, there's federal taxes at $148, then there's state and local tax at $72. Now, millions of Americans are here in this situation. This is the situation that was spoken about earlier, right here, the forced savings method, right? The forced savings method. Whereas this individual said, you know what, let's correctly fill this out. Net pay now is $1,074.59. Still Medicare, Social Security for $74. Medicare 17 is still there. But here, federal tax withholding, $17.69 versus $100.48. $148.80. Right? State and local tax are down at $15 now instead of $72. Ladies and gentlemen, that's just the first part of adjusting or correctly filling that W-4. Some adjustments are much higher and others don't move because you are in the right and are in the correct filing of your W-4. There are millions of Americans, ladies and gentlemen, that have never changed that or corrected it to the new changes in their lives, from having a child, buying a home, or moving from another state. Ladies and gentlemen, or even starting a business. Adjustment to refund. Now, the same way we had this individual adjust the W-4, or we shared the information, we had them change it. Let me correct that. We do not change it for you. We share the information if it's applicable to you, and if it's applicable to your journey, and you are in the guidelines, then you would apply it. And if not, that is your decision also. This person here, let's say person A, went ahead and adjusted their W-4 and was given the additional $500 a month. That additional $500 a month, they put it into an investment account or a vehicle for the next 15 years. The next 15 years, how many of us have been working a job for at least, or have been working in the work field for at least 15 years, right? Many of us. So they did that, and how many of us would like to have looked up in 15 years and saw that $173,000 were in that investment vehicle for us, or that savings vehicle for us, right? That would have been amazing. That would have been awesome at 8%. Now, some may say at the bank, I'm not getting that 8%. we'll get a chance a little bit further in the presentation to share with you why you're not getting it at the bank. And the bank may be getting it with their secret. But now, that same $500, let's say that person was able to say, you know what, I love the improvement. I love the transition from giving my money away as a forced savings to now taking it back home and creating that savings account for myself at 8%. I love what it's created for me in 15 years. Let's go ahead and double that for the next 30 years. And at 8%, ladies and gentlemen, $745,000. $745,000 through putting that money into a vehicle for themselves versus continually sitting in the situation where it wasn't doing anything for them. Now, if you don't make the adjustment, I understand, it's something that we're used to. Or this person says, no, I'm going to get the refund. So I'm going to allow the $500 to come out with the mindset of, I'm going to get it back later. I'm going to get it back later, right? But $500 going out every month, $6,000 a year, is it typical or is it usual for us to say that they get that $6,000 back? Now, I know we might have the person that has kids and it's a little bit different, but we're going a little bit deep on that one. Now, $6,000, usually they'll come back home with $4,000 tax refund, right? Throughout the year, they're maybe facing a little bit of other challenges from inflation, price of living is going up, daycare is going up, if they have kids, gas is going up, you know, everyday shopping at Walmart or other groceries, convenience stores are going up, right? So $4,000 refund, next 15 years, that's $60,000, guys. $60,000. Let's double check that. Oh, you can't double check it right now. We'll double check it later. Nah, $60,000. $6,000, $60,000 a year times. So in summary, $6,000 a year refund, 30 years is $180,000. We would assume, right? If I'm gonna give that money away, I'm gonna get it back. And it's gonna be in the next 30 years, $180,000 because I'm gonna get it back. I ain't need it. I'm gonna get it back and it was all good. For most Americans, no. For most people, no. Right? So $80,000 isn't the true reality. In truth, $4,000 is probably what's gonna come back. For the next 30 years, $120,000 is more than likely what the situation could have been if they're getting the refund. But if they made that adjustment and said, you know, the next 30 years is going to be the next 30 years, it is what it is. Next 30 years, they're taking the $6,000 a year, not a month, a year, for 30 years at 8% for $745,000. Come on. Come on. Come on. Wow. Wow. Right? I mean, it's a decision, or it's something that we didn't know there was an adjustment form to the refund. Right? Now, you want to understand that you might say, hey, but I was told if I adjust it and I take it home, I'm owe in the future. Well, you got to understand the rest of the form, and that's why you're here, to understand that against that, as a working individual combined with a business, you now have additional advantages. Some of those additional advantages are your everyday expenses that are now potential business deductions. Ladies and gentlemen, there are so many of us who every day are doing things that are to build our business, doing things to build that legacy for our generations behind us, or even for our future retirement years, right? And we're spending our hard-earned income, either from our job or from the individual business. But what millions or many business owners are doing or failing is in business deduction education. Truck and car and truck expense. Are we not driving? Yeah, we're driving. How many of us are driving from work, home, school, events, business meetings, clients, supply store, right? Millions of us. But if we're not putting it in the column of business expense, then we're losing that deduction. Not only that, but communication. Being able to watch this on the phone, being able to watch this on the computer, being able to watch this, at home. Or being able to listen in on a Zoom. Being able to call in on a conference call. Being able to call clients. Or potential clients. Communication. Travel. To events, travel to outside events, mostly conferences, or even to clients that are outside of your city or metropolitan area. Woo! I said it. Man, it was hard. But again, metropolitan area, right? Traveling outside of it, guys, from hotel stays to car rentals to dry cleaning to food rental, lodging, right? Meals and entertainment is actually gone. But meals, guys, that you have with clients or potential clients, or even in sponsoring events, these things become tax deductions for you. But most importantly, it's actually the allowance that you're giving your kids can now become a tax deduction through creating job activities and employing your children in helping you in building this legacy for the family, right? So that's very powerful. Many people want to be able to understand as a business owner what tools or what do I need to have in place to be able to take these deductions. But literally, there's only two things. One is this is self-explanatory, but have a business, right, guys? You can't have a business deduction without a business. You gotta have a business. But one is to have the intent to create income, the intent to make money. You're doing this activity or taking on this expense in the intent that it will help in the creating of income, right? And number two is properly record keep. Properly document your records, right? And this takes me to my next thing, business tax savings. Because now that you're keeping the receipts, now that you're documenting your activities, I really want you to understand, I've actually spoken with a person who, for the past few years, have been keeping receipts, but have not been applying them to their taxes. Now, there is a difference, ladies and gentlemen, to not applying. We'll get a chance here to look at 3 individuals or 3 brothers or friends that all work the same job, have the same income of $75,000, right? But you want to understand that someone said to this guy, no, you don't need a business. No, you don't have to get it. He rolled with it. Somebody said to these guys, no, you guys need a business. And guess what? Maybe they rolled with it. Or internally, they figured to themselves, I saw mom doing it, I saw dad doing it. I didn't really understand it. They didn't really understand it, but I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I always wanted to be a businessman. Or I wanted to go ahead and create a legacy or a passive income stream or something that paid me instead of me having to work, right? So they said, let's go ahead and go that way. Let's learn a little bit more about this business thing that they're mentioning. Business income, $0 for person A here. Person B went ahead and applied himself a little bit, $5,000 in business income. Person C was able to create $40,000 in business income. Now, as I mentioned to you guys, business deductions, right? Some of these things, person A can't really tell me he wasn't driving a car all year, right? Personally, he probably was. Probably didn't want to pass out a business card. Probably didn't want to invite somebody to this meeting, to a home meeting. But person B said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and start recording these deductions, these same expenses that I occurred a few years back. Anyways, now I'm a business owner. Let's take advantage of the support and resources that this government and country provide. Yeah, business deductions. $20,000 in the same expenses, right? Of driving the car, taking care of the kids, taking care of the wife, taking care of birthdays, events, school clothes, supplies, all these things, and driving the vehicles, right? $20,000 is pretty across the board, but he just didn't get a chance to record that on his column. Now the net business income for him would be 0 because he didn't have any income nor any deductions to apply, therefore 0 anyways. this brother here had negative 15 net business income due to the fact that he had $5,000 income but $20,000 worth of expenses. A little bit higher, a lot higher than his income. Legally, guys, it's okay. You just got to read it, be in relationship with the compliance to qualify for it. Speak to your CPA, speak to your accountant. Have that conversation and help people understand. Because there are times where people have gone outside of the deductions. It does happen. They audit them and things aren't too beautiful. But there are times where people are audited and they were in the right. Because documentation saves conversation. Right? Negative $15,000. Brother here had had $20,000 due to making $40,000, having $20,000 expenses brings his net business income $20,000. So most people say, I don't invest. Why don't you? Why don't you? I don't invest because I don't have enough discretionary funds, or I don't have enough money to barely make it at the end of the month. Okay, I could agree. Maybe that's a reason to generate some side income, or not. But this person says, yeah, I did. I went ahead and made that $5,000, saved that $5,000 and put it straight here. An additional tax deductible investment account. That same $5,000 I made, because these expenses were anyways last year. I did it off of this. But this is the thing, he made this, had the $20,000 expenses, but the government ain't recognizing that. The committee ain't recognizing that. The folks ain't recognizing that. So they ain't allowing him to contribute it, apply it to anything. So it's $75,000 is what they're assuming he still has. $75,000. So let's tax him, or let's give him the standard deduction, which is actually doubled for us now, but in this example, he'll have the taxable income go down to $50,000. $50,000 off of this $75,000 leaves him a taxable bill. Let's say 25% tax rate. That's a $12,000 tax bill. $12,600 tax bill off of $75,000, which turned into $50,000. But this brother here, this guy here, this person here, $75,000 off work, extra $5,000 in the business, took that $5,000, put it towards the tax deductible investment account, and had $20,000 in business deductions. So he had $5,000, $20,000 in deductions, brought him down to negative 15. That $5,000 that he had created, he put it in an investment account, so that brought him down a little bit more, down to $55,000 in taxes. Adjustable, no, I'm saying $55,000 adjusted gross income. $55,000 instead of $75,000. Standard deduction, $12,600 right across the board. Exemption, you get the exemption now. There's no exemption for each person anymore, so it just goes to double this. So that would be there, across the board. Taxable income, $30,000. So guys, how much was left on the table? $20,000 in deductions. $20,000, which caused a $5,000 difference in taxes. $20,000 caused a $5,000 difference in taxes coming out of his pocket. Coming out of his pocket. So now that $5,000, in addition to this $5,000, is what he's got. He's got $5,000 moving in an investment account somewhere. He's got an additional $5,000 that he saved on the tax bill. It's a $10,000 increase, guys, by simply hitting these 4 areas due to these 2 words. Alright? It's pretty much what changed it. And then this one word created some. Oh my God! This one word created some. Created some additional deductible investments, right? So that's $10,000. Now this individual made 75 at the job, 40 on the streets. Oh, hold on, 40 on the streets. Hold on, $40,000 in the business. Have the same $20,000 deduction that I assume everybody has. Applied that $40,000 or $20,000 to the 40 he made, brought him down to $20,000 in net business income. But what he did is out of that 40, he also took $20,000 and put it in the taxable deductible. He put it in the additional tax deductible investment. So out of that 40, he took 20 and put it right here. Boom. Out of the 40, he put 20 right here. And then his taxable or adjusted gross income came down to $75,000. Standard deduction, exemptions no longer here. Standard deduction now became these two together because he's married with one child. Married, head of household with one child. Married, one child. What you talking about? So, $75,000 reduction. Now he's $50,400 in taxable income, $12,600. About the same thing this person paid. But the difference is the guy here or the person here has an additional $20,000 in an investment account and an additional $20,000 that he has from the business. He has a $20,000 addition from the business because he only took $20,000 out and put it in the investment account. So the other 20 still in here. But you can say you applied it to this, right? You took all this home. Take all that home. That's why they're saying, yeah, you took it all home. He didn't take it all home because he spent it all right here. So he's really, instead, should have had that. Without this, you've been about right here. 55,000 a year. And then gone down. So you can be here. Pay that. Woo, Mare! Hey, hold on. So he's got 20,000 in the investment account and another 20,000 in the pocket. Eating. Did it right. Now you might say, hey, what is these deductions? What is these deductions? I mean, I kind of showed you them over here, but let's go a little bit faster, a little bit deep, right? So mortgage. Let's say you have a mortgage, you're paying $1,000. And at 20%, which is, let's say, a square foot in your home compared to the entire blueprint, the entire layout, square feet in the home. I almost said the crib, the bread. Y'all already know. Y'all be easy. 20%. So that's $200 out of the $1,000 that you're paying a month. $200 is tax deductible. A year, that's $2,400. I'm trying to slow down a lot. $2,400 in tax deductions. Utilities. Let's say you have $500 that you're paying in utilities a month. 20% of that is now tax deductible as a business owner and using the home office or home office deduction. 20%, $100, that totals $1,200. Now, cell phone, which you've been using, it's $100 a month. 85% of the time you're using it to post ads, you're using it to contact prospects, you're using it to follow up with clients, you're using it to book appointments, you're using it to do research, you're checking emails, you're sending emails, you're buying products, you're selling. Hold on now. 85% of the time on the cell phone, you're using it for business. $85 of that, $100 is tax deductible. That's $1,020. Mileage. You're driving the car 10,000 miles. I know, a little bit more. 10,000 miles, right? 56 cents, but it's actually jumped up this year. So next year, they're going to give you 58 cents per mile. That's $5,600 for the 56 miles. Meals and entertainment was $200 a month in meals and other forms of entertainment. 50% of the time was deductible. So that's $100. That's $100 out of the $200. That's $1,200. So guys, now internet $50 a month. That's 100%, because like you want to get on that thing to either check the bank account, send some payments, look at your invoices, post some ads, look at who's contacting you, what prospects, what emails to send out. These are the things that you're conducting on your home office, looking at your schedule, your calendar, things like that at your internet, your home office. So it's 100%. $50, so that's $600 a year. When you total all the total deductions, let's just go ahead and keep it simple at $12,000, because when you total that up, it is $12,020. But $12,000, right? So state and federal taxes, 30%. That $12,000 that you saved in deductions is $3,600. So keep it pocket. It's in your pocket, man. Slow down, man. It's in your pocket, man. There's other deductions that we ain't even give you. We barely gave you the 6, right? There's over 475. Chill. State and federal tax 30%. You just saved $3,600 in your pocket. You did have the business. You worked the business. $2,000 and $2,400 in your pocket. So that's an additional $6,000 you made in a year. $6,000 ain't too much, right? Passive income to make $6,000. Let's just say you got that. You have to have other options. Would be $600,000 in an investment vehicle, giving you at 1%. You can get the 1% that you make. Most people work on that, but the $600,000 part, that's what we have to work on, right? Or you can have $200,000, a little bit less, $200,000, getting 3%. The $200,000, okay, it might be workable. You might be able to find the person to get it 3%. How long does it take you to get 200,000? 6%. That you got to know somebody. Maybe you got 100,000. 100,000 at 6%, we might shake something, fight it. But most people aren't having $100,000 discretionary funds and not utilizing these strategies. So, the thing is, creating a $6,000 passive income costs you less than $179. Less than $179, ladies and gentlemen. $179. How much was coming out here? This per pay period. Come on, guys. You do a little bit better than that. Now, keeping track of it. Someone may say, man, how do I keep track of it? I can barely do that today. I can barely do that now. Right? Well, the business cash flow manager is what you utilize. This helps you keep track of your income, helps you keep track of your expenses, helps you capture receipts, helps you really be organized in the decisions that you have to make. Help you be organized, and so you're able to review what is taking